welcome to this week's edition of CU Sports Mag. I'm Laura Kuchkowski, and beside me is the beautiful Mallory Chris. It's a sad day in the studio. Not only is it the last show of the year, but it is my lovely co-anchor's last show for good.
Laura, I can't believe it's over. I really don't want to leave. You guys are like family, and it's just hard. I don't want to say goodbye.
I know. Well, thankfully it's not quite goodbye yet.
All right, let's get the show rolling then. The Buffs practice court in the Coors Event Center has been renamed Hoffman's Court. Over 40 years ago, Colorado basketball player Bobby Hoffman, pictured next to Tad Boyle, played for the legendary coach Sox Walseth. He also served as the assistant coach for the Buffs, a position that led him to a successful 20-year coaching career at Fort Lewis College, where Hoffman still holds the most wins as a coach in the program's history. He was also a successful coach, a high school coach, leading Boulder's Fairview High School to a 1981 state championship. The men's basketball team rolled all over Fort Lewis on Wednesday night, defeating the upset hopefuls by a score of 95-71. After only a 2-point first half, the Buffs pulled it together in the second, putting together a dominant run midway through the quarter. CU continued to struggle on the defensive perimeter, but overall played an encouraging game.
And Josh Scott exploded once again, leading the team with 24 points and 15 rebounds. But the Buffs also had 3 other 10-point scorers. Wesley Gordon also shined on the boards, grabbing 10 in the game and marking his 25th in 2 games overall.
The team had 26 second chance points and finished with a 17-point rebound advantage. The win was their 6th in a row after an opening loss to Iowa State.
Next week, the Buffs will head to Fort Collins to take on the CSU Rams. Good luck out there, guys. So far, the Buffs are looking good for the season, despite one loss to Iowa State. And Coach Tad Boyle claims he's proud of what his team has done on the court.
A couple times tonight, we passed up good shots to get great shots. And when you have a team that's doing that, it's fun. It's fun to watch, it's fun to coach, it's fun to play, and we got to continue that offensively.
Well, in the past few years I've been at CU, the Coors Event Center has been referred to as one of the hardest places to play, and the CU unit has been voted one of the top 10 in the country. Earlier this week, I went to men's basketball to see if these standards still hold true.
The atmosphere for men's basketball is known for the traditions. Of course, there's always the mascot Chip. But the crowd engages too, from the confetti after the first CU basket, to the brick baby, to the infamous twins, and wrapping up halftime with the roller coaster.
No one comes into here and gets away with an easy game. I mean, it's one of the harder places to play.
Yet so far this season, the atmosphere that typically lights up this arena has been diminished or completely disappeared. A couple of years ago, ESPN College Game Day came to town, and students spent hours preparing.
For the last 13 hours, we've been painting, padding the inside so I'm not getting fiberglass splinters.
But the packed arena that once was now appears to be more empty rows than actual fans. And while the Buffs still got a win, it is not yet conference play, and the players say they need to get better on the court.
You know, honestly, it's one of those things where we have to get better. It's just the honest truth. We have to get better out there.
But the team isn't the only one who needs to step up. If the energy in Coors Event Center is ever going to get back to the way it was, the crowd needs to step up as well. Laura Kuchkowski, News Team Boulder.
The CU men's basketball team travels to Fort Collins this weekend to take on the CSU Rams on Sunday, December 6th at 12 p.m. in the Root Moby Arena. This is the 8th game for the Buffs this season, and they are going in with a 6-1 record. The Moby Arena seats 8,745 people, and CSU is expecting a sold-out crowd for the game. Coach Boyle isn't surprised by the sellout crowd. In fact, he even said that if Colorado State and Colorado play in Boulder and it's not sold out, something is wrong. And if Colorado and Colorado State play at Moby Arena and it doesn't sell out, something is wrong. Fans on both sides cannot wait to see these two rivals to duke it out for the win.
The women's basketball team headed down to Fort Collins on Wednesday to face in-state rival Colorado State. The Buffs traveled over in hopes of adding to their 5-game win streak against the Rams, but unfortunately fell short 64-63 in the last 3 seconds of the game. With 18 seconds left in the game, the Buffs were down by 1 with the ball. With 6 seconds left, freshman Kennedy Leonard drove in and made a clutch layup with 3 seconds left to go. But with the new rule, the Rams called timeout and were given the ball on the sideline of their half of the court. All they needed was a pass and a short jumper to win, and that's exactly what happened. CSU's Ellen Nystrom made a heartbreaking 13-foot jumper with 1 second to go. Freshman Kennedy Leonard led the team with 21 points, followed by Lauren Huggins with 11. The Buffs are now 35-12 in the series and are 4-3 this season. They will be on the road again this weekend to play Long Beach State on Sunday at 3 p.m.
Well, I think we can all say that we are happy for the start of a new season. Basketball is finally in full swing, and Steve Nelson and Christine Lambert are in studio to give you an insight on how the season is shaping up so far.
Welcome to another riveting edition of Double Team. I'm Steve Nelson, and joining me today is a veteran of Double Team this season, Christy Lambert. Now, Christy, we just heard our anchors talk about the CSU game that the women's basketball team played. It was a tough game, very hard fought, but I want to go a little bit more in depth into that game. I want to say, were there any players that really stuck out for you that really, displayed that did really well?
There were, as there always are, and that game was just heartbreaking. We almost got it there at the end, but score ended up being 63-64 with a CSU win. But Kennedy Leonard, who's a freshman this year for the Buffs, she really did stand out this game, and we've heard that name before in Sports Mag. We've talked about her before. I'm sure we will be talking about her again because if this game is any indication, she will be a leading player for the Buffs. In the last 1 minute and 30 seconds of that CSU game, Kennedy Leonard and CSU's Ellen Nystrom actually had a kind of a shootout. They were just back and forth down the court, making baskets, just really racing the time on that. And unfortunately, CSU's Nystrom did get that last basket, so they did get a CSU win. But Kennedy is always a great player, and Coach Lappy usually has great things to say about her. She says she's always aggressive on the court, also that she really knows how to finish out a game for the Buffs.
Mm-hmm. It's always great when you can bring in new talent and then they already start proving themselves on the court, so early. And speaking of new talent, I actually want to shift gears now to the men's basketball team because they've also been having a lot of success. Josh Scott, first of all, he's been living up to every expectation. He's leading the team in scoring, putting up 18.9 points a game on average, total of 125 points so far. And I also want to talk about George King and Josh Fortune because George King actually redshirted last year. He played 2 seasons ago, but he sat out last season because he wanted to develop more and learn more about the flow of this Buffaloes team and then come back in, and it's totally paid off. He's putting up 15.6 points a game. He's racked up 109 total. He's totally proven himself. As for Fortune, he had to redshirt last year as well, but that's because he transferred from Providence College, and because of NCAA transfer eligibility rules, he had to use his redshirt. But now he's back. He's putting up 11.6 points a game, 81 total so far on the season. These guys, they've come back with a vengeance, and it's great to see them, putting up these big numbers for the Buffs.
Very true. And the Buffs have been doing amazing, as you said, and really these last few games haven't even been close. We just completely blew out Fort Lewis College and UNC in the last couple of weeks, and we beat Air Force by 11 points. Pretty awesome. I'm feeling really positive about the Buffs men's basketball team this season.
I'm also very optimistic about this season, but unfortunately that's all the time we have for this edition of Double Team. I'm Steve Nelson. This is Christy Lambert. Cheers. Back to you guys at the desk.
And now it's your favorite time of the episode, the test. Now don't worry, it's only one question and you won't get a grade on it, unlike finals. So dig out the history books and whatever else you need to help you answer a question about our basketball team. In the spirit of rivalry games, we would like to know, how many times have the Buffs beaten the Rams in men's basketball games? We'll have the answer coming up later in the show, so stick around. Coming up after the break, we have news on what may be changing with the women's volleyball team.
And we'll take one last look back at football and give you a recap of their final game. Stay tuned.
Starving. What's for breakfast?
Guten Tag!
Johannes, Ross!
I I bring you arts-enriched Raisinblams, fortified with increased test scores and creative problem-solving skills.
It's good!
And good for you.
Bobby? Susie?
Don't worry, that's just the power of the arts!
Feed your kids the arts. For 10 simple ways to learn how, visit americansforthearts.org.
What'd she say?
She said whatever.
No, she says that all the time.
What's that?
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Mom, I'm on the phone!
Hello? I'm on the phone.
Who's this? It's me. I'm on the phone. Mom.
Oh, you're on the phone. All right. Sorry.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Who are you talking to? Kelly?
Mom.
All right.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Good nutrition can lead to great things. Find out how a healthy lifestyle can help your child succeed.
Last Saturday, the football team headed to Salt Lake City to take on the University of Utah Utes. The Buffs fell just short yet again, losing by 6 points. The Buffs were down 10-0 halfway through the second quarter, but Cade Apsey was able to pull his team to within a field goal before halftime.
Heading into break, the score was 10-7 in favor of the Utes. The Buffs' second half struggles continued Saturday as the Utes had a very strong third quarter and were able to score 2 touchdowns in the third quarter.
Jordan Gerke and Jaleel Awini split the quarterback duties in the second half after an injury to Cade Apsey. Gerke was sacked 5 times and threw 1 interception during the half, and that did not help the team get back into the game.
The Buffs were able to score a touchdown and bring the game to within 6 after Gerke threw a pass to Philip Lindsay, who was able to avoid hitting the ground after getting wrapped up and ran it into the end zone. Well, Colorado football players Nelson Spruce and Chidobe Awuzie were both honored for being named to the second team All Pac-12 on Tuesday. Senior Nelson Spruce finished his career with a total of 294 receptions for 3,347 yards, as well as 23 total touchdowns. Spruce was able to pass the previous record holder Scotty McKnight for career receptions by the time the season ended this year. Awuzie finished the past year with the most tackles at or behind the line of scrimmage out of any Colorado Buffalo. Congratulations, boys, and keep up the great work.
Well, the season may be over for the football team, but just in case you missed a moment of the Buffs, Allie Monroy is in studio to wrap up how the 2015 season turned out.
Hey Buff fans, I'm Allie Monroy and this is Buff Banter. CU football is officially over and it didn't end the way everyone had hoped. Even though we did win 2 more games than last year, we still ended the season with only 4 wins and 9 losses. Pretty disappointing to say the least, but hey, I do believe they're improving. The team has gone through a few changes and we have seen some results. Some of the graduating seniors spoke of the overall progress they have witnessed during their career and how a few years back many games were over before they started. And now they're playing conference teams and having close games, but still leaving the field frustrated. Fans did at least see 1 conference win this year, which unfortunately wasn't the case last year. A big issue the Buffs had this year was finishing. They had a lot of close point games, but were never able to pull through at the end. And with the amount of injuries the team had throughout the season, this isn't much of a surprise. Starting quarterback Sefo Liufau will miss spring drills and is expected to be out at least until mid-summer because of his lisophrenic injury. Hopefully he'll be back by the beginning of the season, but if not, freshman Cade Apsey will most likely take the starting position. Even though the Buffs have had a few rough years, the team needs stability, which I believe is one of the reasons why Coach McIntyre will return for his 4th season next year. At the final press conference of the year, Coach mentioned that he has seen progress and a lot of improvement, but reminded everyone that this is a building progress and it never
and it's never as quick as you'd like it to be. Senior Nelson Spruce gave a little advice to CU seniors to be and said, take every day and seize the opportunity. Treat every day like it's the last chance you're going to get. I agree with you, Spruce, and hopefully we will see that future seniors take on the leadership role. That's all the time I have for today. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, head volleyball coach Liz Kritza was relieved of her coaching duties yesterday. The Buffs finished the season with 19 wins and 13 losses. They finished 11-9 in the Pac-12. Despite the winning record, the team was not invited to play in the NCAA tournament. Kritza has been the head coach for 7 seasons and accumulated a 90-125 record, including a 41-101 record in conference play. Associate head coach JT Wenger has named to intermittent head coach until the next coach is selected.
The Colorado volleyball seniors had the game of their careers with the team, winning their 500th all-time win against Utah. The Buffs won 3-1, with this game being their last game of the regular season. They are looking to gain a spot in the NCAA tournament, and even though Colorado got their 500th win, the Buffs still only finished 5th in the Pac-12 standings, with a 19-13 record for the season. ESPNU will be showing the selection show where the Buffaloes will find out if they have a place in the tournament at 7 o'clock on Sunday. Keep your fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, volleyball seniors Alexis Austin and Nicole Edelman are adding their already impressive resumes by earning all Pac-12 honors. Former head coach Liz Kritza says that these honors are a positive at the end of a tough but productive season. There were a couple other players who earned honors. Freshman Nagadia Adu earned a spot at the All Pac-12 Freshman Honorable Mention team, and sophomore Gabby Simpson was named to the All Pac-12 Honorable Mention. Good job to you, ladies. Well, coming up after the break, we'll give you the scoop on 2 women who are joining the Buffs for the Golf in 2016 season.
And it may not have been a three-peat for the Buffs, but the men's and women's cross-country team still ended the season on a good note. All that and more next. Don't go away.
I'm a good student.
We don't want to be at your party any more than you want us here.
What could we have done to avoid this?
Keep the noise down so no one complains.
Hey, guys, keep it down. The neighbors are complaining.
Make sure anyone drinking alcohol is at least 21.
You sure you're old enough?
And finally, make sure that you don't have too many people.
Man, that would have been easy. I wish I had known the rules. Now you know. Avoid trouble. Know the rules.
We want to see our children succeed, but setting easy goals for our kids creates the toughest obstacle they'll ever face, because succeeding in the real world isn't easy. Help the effort to raise standards in America's public schools. Call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
My nephew Scruff about to run into trouble again.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Well, look at this. Uh-oh. It's my dad's. You want to hold it? What'll I do?
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies and guns. And you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, just write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652, and help take a bite out of crime.
I want it. I want it.
You know trouble can start when the clock hits 3. When there's no place after school for kids to be. Nothing to do but hanging on city streets. When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
time to beat the street.
Well, the cross-country NCAA championships were held last weekend in Louisville, Kentucky. The men and women both placed second, giving the Buffs the best combined finish of any program in the nation. For the men, senior Pierce Murphy was the top individual finisher for placing CU in third. And for the women, Erin Clark was at the top, finishing in 11th place. Other honorable mentions were Caitlin Brenner, Maddie Alm, Morgan Pearson, and John Dressel. The last time that the men finished at the top spot was in 2006 when they were also placed second. Coach Mark Wetmore had this to say about both teams.
Finish of the year. I'm proud of the women. I'm proud of the men. Wish we had 10 less points on the men's side, but I know they ran their hearts out, and I'm happy.
Well, not only did cross country kill it at the NCAA championships, but they also had 5 student athletes placed in the 2015 Pac-12 cross country all-academic first and second teams. Those placed on the first team were Caitlin Brenner and Melanie Nunn. Lucy May, Paul Miller, Morgan Pearson were placed on the second team. 4 other buffs, including Maggie Alm, Aaron Clark, Aaron Blakely, and Christian Martin, earned honorable mention. To be eligible for the honor of the student athlete needs a 3.0 GPA and a starter or significant contributor to the team.
CU women's golf coach Ann Kelly has signed 2 new buffs for 2016, Robin Choi and Christy Hodgkins. The 2 are unique because they are both coming all the way from Queensland, Australia. Chow graduated from Redcliffe State High School and played 3 years for the Queensland Junior Girls State team, helping them win a championship in 2013. Hodgkins was a 3-time state and regional team selection and was named Redcliffe State's Sportswoman of the Year. She also has 2 top place finishes at the 2014 and 2015 Queensland School Girls Championships. Coach Kelly is thrilled to have this dynamic duo start next year. This week's
Athletes of the Week are Kennedy Leonard and Josh Scott. With basketball season in full swing, both players are playing at a high level and helping both the men's and the women's team in winning records. Leonard had 21 points with 4 assists and 1 point loss to CSU, while Scott had held the way to a 95-71 victory over Fort Lewis with 24 points and 15 rebounds. Hopefully both can keep up the great play and continue to help get wins for the Buffs. And coming up after the break, we send our lovely senior here off with a tribute from some of our crew.
And our holiday edition of the fastest segment on the show, Rapid Fire.
Oh, little far. Back. Yep, that's good. I'm Erin Sullivan. Stay tuned for Rapid Fire.
You believe this guy?
Are you trying to start a wildfire?
Sorry. Pass the honey?
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
This house was almost saved from a fire that was almost put out by neighbors who almost volunteered. As generous a nation as we are, sometimes instead of giving, we almost give. But almost giving is the same as not giving at all.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
While the end of the school year is fast approaching and you may are feeling bored or just a little bit anxious about spending too much time away from Boulder or with your family, Erin Sullivan is in the studio to let you know all the events you can catch up on to keep you entertained for the holidays.
Hey there, Buff fans. I know here in Colorado the flakes have begun to fall, but I, Erin Sullivan, will keep it toasty for us with this week's Rapid Fire. CU football stuffed in a final game at Utah. If you missed it, you were probably still in a turkey coma. The end of the season has come, but if you're still hearing spruce in your dreams, know that there's plenty more Buff action to keep you jolly. Snuggle up with your significant other by the fireplace in your flat screen to watch the women's basketball game against Long Beach State this Sunday at 6 p.m. They had a close 63-64 brawl in Fort Collins on Wednesday, so you'll surely want to tune in for another high-scoring game on the court. Take a steady break, and I'm not saying to whip out that stale gingerbread house, and head on down to Coors on Saturday, December 12th to watch your men's basketball dribble their way around BYU. Need a New Year's resolution that you'll actually keep? Become the Buffs' best fan and follow the men into 2016 on their basketball game on January 1st at Berkeley, California. Well, that's all the time I have for Rapid Fire this week. Back to you guys.
We hope you didn't have to study too much to find the answer to our single test question. But if you did, or you couldn't find the answer, we have it for you. In case you forgot, we asked, how many times have the Buffs beaten the Rams in men's basketball games? And the answer is 85. The Buffs have played the Rams a total of 122 times and have won the vast majority of them. They have only lost 37 games. We hope you all ace this test, but if not, you'll have more opportunities.
Well, unfortunately, it is that time when we have to say goodbye to one of our own. Mallory, we love you, and we will miss you so much.
Can't believe it's ending. I'm going to miss it so much, too.
But before we say goodbye, for the final time, we wanted to send you off with a little appreciation for everything that you've done.
Ski Association named CU Nordic squad coach Bruce Cranmer the Nordic Coach of the Year award.
I'll always have a special place in my heart for Mallory because the first time I ever anchored Sports Mag, I anchored with her, and we killed it. It was an awesome show.
Mallory, I had fun. The one time we anchored, we made really bad hair jokes. It was fun. We're gonna miss you a lot.
The first time Mallory and I got to know each other was when she took me under her wing.
I remember you, even in the first couple of weeks of me being there when I was pretty shy, just being really intentional with me and asking me personal questions, and it just made me feel really, really comfortable. And
when I heard that you were an econ major and you knew all these people on Sports Mag and you were just so into Sports Mag, I got crazy jealous.
She is one of the people who stays late and gets it done, and that's going to be a huge loss for us.
Boy, all those fun times on Thursdays and Fridays are gone forever. We're going to miss you. Bye.
And I remember definitely having girl talk with her a few times, asking her if my shirt was see-through when I went on camera, which is an important thing.
You were so welcoming for my first semester in Sports Mag, and it's been really, really fun to get to know you.
I wish you the best of luck in whatever you do in the future, and I know you're going to kill it. Thanks for everything.
I love you dearly. You're going to be so great in the world. Seriously, thank you for everything you've done.
Don't start crying yet. It's okay. We'll get her tissues after the show. Well, unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. Seriously, thank you, Mallory, for everything that you've done. We really would not have this show without you. Thank you so much for all of your dedication.
Thanks. Well, it's been a fun journey. I'm trying to hold back my tears right now. Yeah, I mean, I've loved being on this show, and I'm not ready to say goodbye yet, but
well, you're always welcome back. You can always come visit the show. You're always just more than welcome to stay on my couch. I mean, come on, I love this girl.
Well, I may take you up on that. But happy holidays, and for all the crew out there, thank you so much, and we will
see you next year.
Yeah.
She won't, but we will.